December 10th, and we're getting closer to the halfway point of the Dakota Irish dice calendar. Let's get this baby opened and see what is inside. I'll just grab the bowl so we can see what we've got so far. Okay. Feels heavy. Again, it sounds like it doesn't have too many sides. Tilting it over doesn't give multiple sounds of rolling, so that would also suggest that it have fewer sides, or at least larger sides. I have no idea. It could be a D6 or a D8, but it could also be something else. Let's see. It is a D10. Ooh, very pretty looking. How are you? What have we got? So, clear resin, I think, but it has been filled up to the brim with glitter and small pieces of shiny confetti. All right. Well, I'm not really overly concerned with that. I'm a little concerned with how the lettering seems to be a little like they could have applied a level or two more and that would have been fine, but maybe this is one of the cases that is glow in the dark. Unfortunately, I don't really have the camera capacity to film that. Like, I could absolutely film my room where these dice are in after I've turned off the lights, but I don't. Last time I tried doing it, it didn't come up well on the camera itself. Like, it doesn't actually pick it up very well. It does on a picture to some extent, but it's not great. Overall, I mean, apart from the lettering issue, which is not a big thing, like, you can easily read what the numbers say, and that is by and large the most important part when it comes to lettering. You want the die to be legible. That's why you're playing with it. Otherwise, you might as well have all the pages blank and you could just chisel yourself some kind of symbol. I mean, you can buy blank die that don't have anything on their side, so you can potentially mark them as your own. I've seen the very cheapest I've seen, and I don't mean to say that it's cheap because you still have to pay for the die, but that was literally painted on with a Sharpie. Obviously, that still gets the job done. So yeah, you can do that, but this is definitely nice. It's very pretty. I do like the glitter. Glitter is sort of like if you're gonna put something into a clear resin die, glitter is a great way to go because it doesn't obscure, like, let's go for like paint. Obviously, this is a really bad example because it has lettering in basically the same color as the prime color of the die, which is like, why? That is... I'm not going to go as far as say it's exceedingly stupid, but it's not a great idea. That's not a problem here. Some of the glitter might have the same color as the lettering, which is not completely white. It's sort of like an off silver gray. But the point is, it's easy to read. And that's the thing. Because you're using clear resin, that means that, and instead of filling it up with a color, now this is obviously an opaque one where it has just been mixed together, these swirls of green. Didn't I have a... Yeah, you can see here. This is also a clear resin, but this one has been... No, this is also actually... Do I really not have... Yes, I do. So this one is very, very light on its filling. And... like, again, it's very easy to read, not a problem. So that's, but if you go to a die that has marbling texture as sort of like where it's clear resin, but it's like filled up with usually one and two different kinds of coloring, sometimes three. Then you have to be careful with the choice of coloring for the lettering. But that's not an issue here. So, as always, a die goes into the tower. That's a 6. Yes, it is. The only thing here is that the dot that indicates the bottom of that this is a 6 is a little on the unclear side, and it's right next to the 9 as well, so that's not great. If I were to say anything about this die, when you have this much side space, there's no reason not to make the lettering bigger. Bigger means it's more legible, and you might as well, because it's not like it's obstructing what's behind. Like, you could argue that with clear resin die where there's items inside, because you're kind of like, oh, is that a small tiny rubber duck that's inside this die? That's cute. If it's just glitter, it's just like, cool, that's pretty, nice. What did you roll? Like, you get a sort of different vibe to it, and yeah, the lettering here is, make it maybe 1.5 times as big, and bump up the width of the lettering by maybe 0.5 millimeter, and you're good to go. Outstretched, like numbers being stretched out, is not a problem if you're using a font where it's clear what the number is. And yeah, the more thick lettering would also help making the dot or indicator bigger. I don't per se like a dot. I prefer I prefer how it's done here. So with a line under, because the line is clear and it's much bigger than just a dot, especially on a die where you're using graffiti and glitter, because one speck of glitter could look like one of these dots here. Now, there is obviously another easy way to locate what is the dice rolling, and that's because on a standard D10 such as this, all the odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, are on the same side. And if you turn it around, you have all the even numbers. So that's an easy way to do it. So if you're in doubt of whether it's a 9 or a 6, you can just look at the numbers beside. And if it says 1 or 5 in this instance, well, then you rolled a 9. It's a little more mental gymnastics to do, but people remember how they roll their die in different ways. All right, that's a lot of rambling for just a die, but, well, what else am I going to talk about? It's a dice calendar, so I talk about the die. Anyway, that's it for this video. I will see you tomorrow for day and hatch and present, in this case, number 11. But until then, take care.